We are live.
Yay!
Just got a notification that we are live.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
have
get
to
the
tune in.
notification. Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad it's working. Well, Atmos, obviously, I'm very excited to have you here. I'm
Thank
definitely
you
a
for having
super
me.
fan, right? Oh no, I did get the notification. My phone's just slower than yours. That's okay. But yeah, I definitely resonate with everything you talk about. As far as like energy, the only thing I'm still learning is the gene keys stuff.
Yeah,
I just had astrology like click, but the other day I was thinking about gene keys and how these spheres pop in different spots. And I'm like, is that like the houses? You might not know astrology, but I'm like, maybe that's how it like rotates in my mind. I see it all moving. That's probably
yeah.
how you're aware.
I guess the gene keys as a system have much more than just one system. It has astrological parts. It has most of the I Ching. And of course, all the wisdom of shadow work and
Yeah.
our own genetic programming, which is a huge system in the end. So it's more than just astrology. Yeah,
Well, to me, it feels like a very nuanced North Node and South Node expressions, which is what you've mastered and what you're here to learn, is what those mean in astrology. But this
yeah,
is like next level nuanced into
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Because it's like, wow, okay, it's really mapped thoroughly, not just a little paragraph to have
yeah.
you kind of like go off of.
And
But
if you read the thousands of pages Richard has written about it, it's stunning. Yeah.
well, I know you just told me before we got on that you had an experience, right? And I've been dying to hear this story, so go for it, man.
Well, you mean the Gene Keys experience?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, I didn't know anything about the Gene Keys. I guess it was between 2010 and 2012. I don't know. Um, where I got a series of energetic downloads, which was immense. It was over weeks. Didn't have words for any of that.
Mm.
It just I received a wisdom teaching. Uh, it was perfectly clear, and I knew it is related to our genes. It was related to. I always heard in my mind. These are the keys of your genes, and I didn't know what to do with that. And I also had no words for that. And I thought maybe now it takes me years to find the words to express it and communicate it to other people. And it was also a very transforming time for myself. Yeah, and then I suddenly saw that because I was looking on the internet for gene related material and cosmic knowledge and all that, and then I saw Richard Rudd and the Gene Keys. And back then, it wasn't such a big system. Also, not online. There were not many online courses and so on. But there was the book, and I met with the one person in Austria who was translating the book into German. And we met back in Vienna. And I read, of course, the book, and I suddenly recognized that
Oh,
what Richard had put into marvelous words, in poetic words, was an instant match to the wisdom of the shadow work, of the energy, of the download I got. So you could say that I received the changes maybe similar to Richard. But it was also different because Richard had all this background in human design, and he of course was deep into the I Ching and all these teachings. So it maybe, but he also got this download energy. So I knew that only afterwards. So yeah, so I received the gene keys from Grace, from as
Mhm.
a divine download in the end, which is also written in the gene keys material as the gene key 22. And this 22nd gene key is the way of grace. It's like there are two forces in the gene keys. You know, the gene key 55, which is the evolution of consciousness, the evolution of humans towards God or enlightenment, and the 22nd gene key is the download energy. It's the grace energy. It's you get gifted by divine grace. It's not something you work towards to and strive to reach. It's something that comes, yeah, as grace. And these are the two. It's also the descendants of energy in the bodily form. It's like the embodiment we may talk about later.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, all my life it has been like this. It's much more. I see most seekers or spiritual people, they are on the Jiggy 55 path of evolving. You read something, you go to workshops, you have a goal in mind that you want to reach,
Mm.
and you work towards the goal. And for me, my whole life, also with other things, not only the Chinkies, it was also always the other way around. I got gifted by the cities. I got flooded by divine silence,
Mm.
immense love, heavenly energies, and for me, this was the normal. But what
Yeah.
was not normal was the embodiment and the shadow parts. This is what I had to learn, or still learning on all the paths. So yeah, this is more or less how the gene keys came into my life, and from then you just have to break me up if I'm talking too much.
You're doing great.
Um, and from then on, I saw that when I talked to people, it was for me it was easy. Also working with the profile, it was most natural thing in the world. I
Mm.
also right now, if I'm working with clients and I look at the profile, or you send me the profile, um, it's like the chinkies start talking to me. So I'm really in a communication with the profile, and it's not so much in my head or what I've read about all the chinkies and all the courses I've done. It's much more in very intimate communication with the energy behind the gene keys. And what I saw very early on when working with the gene keys with clients and other people was that mental barrier was so immense that they really wanted to understand it on a mental plane to figure it out somehow. Even if I talked about contemplation and feeling into the gene keys, it was much more like, okay, I have to read this book, I have to do this course, I have to figure it out mentally before I can really go with it. And with that, I saw, okay, we need to work on a deeper level of existence, also with the gene keys. And that was the birth of energenetics. Energenetics is just a combination I found between energy and genetics, or the gene keys. So it's energenetics. Yeah, and this is how this developed the system of making the gene keys and all this wisdom uh, uh, experienceable, to make it yeah, very real, embodied on the one hand, and also very experimental from the feeling level. if you get in touch with the energy of the gene keys. Yeah, and from that, everything else evolved. So that's
Wow.
the
So it
short
sounds
story.
sounds very intuitive for you,
Yeah,
but you also I know you told me before, not on this live, that you at a young age became a Reiki master and everything. So do you
yeah,
think having that foundation and then getting that download.
absolutely. Yes, this is the longer story. I was 15, got a Reiki master, and did all these energy teachings. And then with 20, I met a real spiritual guru, a master, Babaji, who was a teacher in the lineage of Ramana Maharshi, and who is the first teacher who brought Advaita Vedanta and all these teachings to the West. Back then, many Oshos and Yasins who were very disappointed came to Babaji, and this was also like the beginning and the end of a complete new journey, because
Mm.
it was the end of this very strict sense of self, of I am this person and I have to achieve these and these things and have these goals. It's like this person really dropped away after 3 weeks in a silent retreat. Um, Basically, the world and everything that I thought to be me just disappeared, and yeah, it was just being left. And well, yeah, this lasted for many months. That I also I came back to my Reiki community back then, and I've always been the disciple. Of my Reiki master, and suddenly I came back as a master myself.
Wow.
And then there was a switch in this role somehow, and suddenly I sat in front and I was teaching to people, and I had no idea what to teach because I was just immersed in this sense of being and being one with everything. So I did a lot of satsangs back then, but the thing is, on a deeper level, a kind of seeking continued. It continued because there was, they call it vasanas, uncooked seeds inside the body. And there was no embodiment at all
Yeah.
back then. It was even uh, a word you really try to avoid because body is bad, body falls, body is not you, your consciousness, you're everything. And yeah, so there was no embodiment. I was very young still, and shadow work was not on my
Right.
list of things to do. And yeah, so right,
So when that download came,
yeah.
as you mentioned how it had the shadow, did that shift your whole perspective and just like kind of shatter those old lenses?
Many of them, because yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Because in the time period before the download came, I mean, there's many years, I was still very involved in energy healing and work. I did hundreds of attunements to different energy systems. It's not just Reiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, until yeah, the 10 years between my 20s and my 30th birthday, I've spent nearly every weekend in some kind of workshop, training.
Wow.
So I did nearly nothing else, but dive deep into all kind of spiritual teachings of all over the world and energy healing. So this, of course, prepared me for this download in the end. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's intense. Like
absolutely.
you
And
were
and also totally unnecessary.
yeah. Well, at the time, you didn't realize that, right?
No,
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 that's a part of growth.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow, that is so cool. I've only had a few experiences where I can't even give you a good example. I know I had a story idea once 'cause I love to write stories, right?
yeah.
And I just let it live in my brain, and then at some point in college, I read a short story, and it literally was the same idea that was written, like, 40 years before I was born, and it was like, "Where does this happen?" Right? Um, so, yeah, when that happened and when you found the Gene Keys, I can only imagine how that blew your mind. But then it sounds like well, does it sound like you really kind of merged it into your own thing with the energetics and stuff.
Right. I have a huge gratitude for Richard, of course, and I stick to the original materials when I talk about the gene keys. Uh, but energenetics evolved more or less into a system uh, of freeing yourself from any external influences and teaching. So it is a teaching, but it makes itself obsolete in the end.
Yeah.
It's transcending its own existence. It's like Ramana Maharshi said, you have a thorn to remove another thorn from your finger, but you have to be aware that the new thorn doesn't stick into your finger anymore. And so it's a tool, and it evolved because I saw that people are, or I myself primarily, was still attached to external energy systems.
Mm.
It's like if you channel Reiki or any of the hundreds of other modalities out there, you always get in touch with an external energy, which is bigger than you, which is not you,
Yeah.
and a teaching that mostly comes with this energy system. And this is where I saw that even if I use the gene keys as one of the systems, I don't want to be dependent on the system behind it. You see, it's like I can work with it, but I have to free it up for myself to make my own thing out of it. Uh, because otherwise you're always attached to something, an external authority who is telling you what's the truth about that. And I saw that also with my clients and the people I was working with. Um, it's 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 more self-empowering if if I don't put a system on them. I just give them tools to discover their own truth and their own freedom and liberation. You can use all the tools, and you can do it in a very genuine way and still not get dependent on them, and always be free to let them go any time, to stay in your own truth and your own clarity.
Yeah. Like I told you before, my path, I guess, is unique in that way because I didn't really, it's all self taught or just by going inward, right?
Yeah,
And like I didn't do Reiki or anything. It was just really getting in tune with my body and what I was experiencing was what, and it took a long time
yeah,
to figure out the energy stuff and what's going on. But with my third eye being so active, I get to actually see it, and that helps me put
absolutely.
shapes to it because I there's no book, or well, if there is, I wasn't reading it, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and I noticed like yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to hopefully move towards that where don't we go more inward, right? For the information
yeah,
and not seeking it externally.
yeah.
Yeah.
That and also the in energy healing, you always channel angels or ascended masters or cosmic energies from unknown sources, aliens. I don't know. There are so many different. You won't
No,
believe it.
I know you. I
Yeah,
know it's out there. I know.
yeah. So you can channel energies from the Arcturians
Yeah.
and from the central sun and all the kind of different masters. And this is what has also, which is the second big part in energenetics, and I call it lux. Lux is Latin for light, and this is not an external light. It's your own light. It's your own essence. And in my cosmology, your lux energy uh, goes through several prisms, a prism of what I call your lux presence. Some would call it your higher self or your I am presence or whatever. This is the first prism where the universal energy, the lux energy, becomes I am individual energy. And from there, also there are different steps. But in my book, I write about the prisms in the body. So also I see the prisms in your third eye, as you said it. Um, and this contains the wisdom of the gene keys of all the 64 gene keys in different constellations. And from there, this prism spreads into the light of existence. And this prism is also in each and every cell of our body, which is our DNA. It's the Akashic Chronicles, the Akash you're talking about. It's not somewhere else. It's in our DNA. It's physically manifested. And yeah, so the second big part of energenetics is the work with lux, with your lux, and let this energy also flow into gene keys, like in shadow work. If you are working with different gene keys, you can uh, use this lux light to let it flow inside a prism to loosen up shadow patterns. I call shadow patterns condensed light, and to grow with that. So this is the second big part of energenetics, which is also the name of my book is called Lux. Your energetic way of sovereignty. Maybe we can link it in the show notes.
Yeah. Well, that I haven't read your book yet, but I without even reading it, I associated prisms with lux.
Yeah,
And I couldn't tell you why, but now I know why.
perfect. Y-
But that's how it works, right? That's
Yeah,
how it works.
amazing,
I'm
isn't it?
picking up on the field, and there it
Yeah,
is. Yeah, that's how
yeah.
it is. Yeah. But can you explain more this condensed light, that shadow? Because I love that phrasing, and I want to just dig into that.
Absolutely. This is I've written down some stuff because you said you wanted to ask me that, and this is one of the core concepts I've got in energenetics, and it's a big part also of my book and a whole module in my foundations course because it is really essential for shadow work. So. I've written down some stuff so that I don't forget to talk about it. Um, yeah, uh, the normal way you do shadow work is uh, you see some dark parts in yourself, or you feel it in someone else. You have some problem with someone, and you see, okay, there's something deeper, darker inside of me, and most of the time you try to get rid of it. And
Mm.
even if you're in the spiritual circle and you're working with light and you want to bring light into it and to transform it, the you basically want to get rid of it, right? It's just uh, uh, a spiritual language for I like it, I love it, I embrace it, but in the end, let's get rid of it. And this is something which is very tricky. And for me, in genetics and in the work with Lux, since when we see shadow pattern, we send Lux into it, not to get rid of it, as I said. It's much more to come with a question. And the
Mm.
question is which compressed pattern is inside of it? What do you want to tell me? Um, this is the intention where you said the energy and it's just to find out what's the deeper meaning and what its message is to you. So you're grateful for its existence because it is like uh, a gift you haven't discovered yet. So it's a gift package and you go into it and you don't and you see this gift wrap around it and you just put the gift wrap away and throw it to the trash and you want to go to the gift but maybe the gift is also in the wrapping. It's
Mm.
just another frequency. That's why I call it condensed light because it is light but in a condensed form. Yeah. So,
That's
um,
interesting.
and and it's always for me. It's important to not go with force here.
Mm.
Also, not with any yeah intentions to get rid of it, but also not with force. It's a very soft way to get in touch with the shadow patterns. Yeah.
Yeah, I know for myself, I've never sought out healing. I literally it'll pop up when I feel it's needed. And
Yeah.
then when it pops up in my reality, I'm like, "Oh, okay, now we're looking at this. Okay."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love that you said be gentle with it because it's to me, you want to go at it with love for yourself and the part of you that is in that shadow, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever that looks like. And yeah, and instead of getting rid of it, and this is kind of lead into embodiment. You want to just integrate it and
Yeah.
accept it.
Yeah.
And there's quite a shift when you go from like, let's just dig it out and throw it over there and
Yeah.
disregard and pretend I never had that, right? Because I'm just so little miss love and
Miss
light.
Light, love and light, right?
But but that's I would think you're almost creating a whole other shadow doing that, right?
Yeah. The love and light shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we go at it with compassion and love and integration, when the desire is to integrate, not to excavate, it really shifts us into embodiment. So, how do you view embodiment?
Well, this is such a core part because early in my spiritual journey, embodiment was like, first of all, something you don't need to do because you're not the body anyway. You're eternal consciousness. So, what you do with this body, it will, uh, it's just a burden. So, this is the extreme extreme step in the beginning of my journey. But then, as embodiment became like something you have to do. You have to work for that,
Mm.
and this is an important phase. But it's not what I'm talking about. For me, it's embodiment means you have no. no other opportunity to not embody, because what we are talking about here are genetic patterns. It's not something out there. It's not just an energy that's somewhere else. It's in your body. So every shadow work, everything I do with energenetics and with the clients is to automatically integrate it in the body,
Mm.
because it's not a concept out there. We are talking here about real physical genes, and this is makes it easier for everyone to don't go into spiritual bypassing. I write a lot about spiritual bypassing because I did it a lot myself, so I know about that. And yeah, I've written also down some stuff I wanted to talk about, but uh, because you asked me what I see as signs of true embodiment.
Yeah.
I'm taking your question.
That's a good question. Yeah,
It's a good question. Could be yours.
probably is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've written down, because the most important thing for me is the real sign of embodiment is you stop seeking.
Oh,
You stop seeking in external solutions.
my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not because you try to stop seeking. It's because what you're experiencing is so real, is so authentic, is so you, that there is no need for any seeking outside. So this is one of the first signs of real embodiment. Um, Also, another thing is simplification. It's like the more you are in spiritual teachings and external teachings, um, you're in the mind. You say, I
Mm.
mean, it gets really complicated over there. I heard. Um, it's it's like this concept, and they're opposing forces, and maybe we find a third concept which explains the first two, and it really gets complicated. So simplicity, also in your expression, and is another deep sign of embodiment. Then crystal clear discernment I've written down, which is also which means you don't need any external validation, because if you feel it in your body, if you have an authentic experience of transformation, you don't need others to tell you what it means, or it's so obviously clear, that you don't need any external validation for what you're experiencing. So this is another part. Then effortlessness. I've written down effortlessness because um, in the end, authenticity in this moment isn't an option anymore.
Mm.
It's a natural thing. It's you stop performing your enlightenment. I'm writing a lot about that. You stop performing any spiritual how do you call it, pictures or goals or whatever. It's just you speak authentically as yourself, and it's not an option, like, oh, today let's be authentic. No, it physically hurts if you're not. um in your core chinky pattern, by the way, which I have experienced in my life. I got the core gene key 52. We also share in our profile, and there the shadow pattern is stress. So if I'm not in my balance, and this is a very collective gene key, of course, uh, but I have it in my core to transform it. And it means that my body goes into stress response, and in an overactive nervous system, in sympathetic response, the moment I'm not authentic myself. which has happened quite a lot of times in my life. So you can figure out that I'm constantly stressed in my body and I don't know why. Um, and in the end, when you realize that the reason for it is that you're trying to perform some role
Mm,
for others,
yeah.
um, this is the pattern that causes in me stress. It's not the only pattern for everyone, maybe. I can just say it for myself, that I really feel it on a physical level. It's like the stress, the sympathetic response. It gets intense. And it's like my nervous system is really on fire, and it's a horrible experience. And yeah, this is a clear sign on a physical level, on an embodiment level. Hey, you've gone off the rail, and you're not being yourself. You're performing
Mm,
something.
that's so
Yeah,
true. I want to add something because, um, while I might not have been seeking teachers outside of me, I still was seeking other things, right?
yeah,
So it's to me, it's when it comes to embodiment, that's more the first thing you said. Like you stop doing that, right? For me, it was,
right,
oh, it's been, I think you could put anything. It could be a relationship, it could be money, even if it's not spiritual teaching. If as long as you're chasing something,
yeah,
you're not what I would call centered. And yeah, it for me it was like collecting all these pieces and I had them for a while and I'm just now put them together
yeah.
and I can feel that shift inside of me like, "Oh, they all go together so well." And I like made this thing and wow, it's fucking cool and gorgeous, right? But
It's
yeah, for
beautiful, and the
yeah.
innocence you go with that, because if people like me who have been on the spiritual junk food and the business uh, uh, drug for most of their life, um, they don't have the innocence you have. This is such a gift. You innocently discover things for yourself, and it's beautiful.
Well, cause that's my path, right? That's part of
Yeah,
my path is yeah, I and that was one piece I collected pretty early on, was like, I have to figure it out myself. And I make a lot of mistakes, a lot,
yeah,
but
beautiful.
I learned from them. So I don't actually, like, hate them when I make a mistake. I'm like, this is a lesson. What am I learning from this? But that to me adds to the embodiment, right? And trusting my own intuition and what I'm saying. I just wrote about that because I have a very active imagination.
Mm,
And for a while, when I was really deep in meditation, I was meeting all sorts of entities. I would meet an Arcturian. I might not actually see them, but I could feel them, and I would just know that's an Arcturian, even though I had no freaking clue what an Arcturian was. Or like, oh, that's an angel. How do I know? I just know. I just know that's
yeah,
an angel. Um, and it was this knowing that, like, you could not that anybody was, but, like, if somebody was trying to argue with me, I'd just be like, "No, I don't know why you're wrong, but you're wrong.
yeah.
That's a freaking angel." And I just know this, right?
Mm,
But my doubt would still be like, is this just me? Is this" so I had to work with that,
mm,
and that took a few years to finally just accept, like, "No, this is legit. This
mm,
is not just my projections." And now the thought of doubting it is so foreign in a way,
yeah.
but I had to work through all that, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Others would need years to get rid of the external validation of what they're telling you. Uh, I mean,
Well, that's what one of them told me was to give psychic readings
yeah,
to get that external validation to help, but
mm,
now I don't have to do that, right, to
yeah,
know. Um,
but
And
you could
even
do it if you want. It's not you just don't
yeah, yeah,
need the
yeah.
validation
No.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Well, now I don't even have to meditate. But that's a whole other thing. But but because it progresses and it grows
Yeah.
and it's a skill, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay. I also wrote down something Lux Fusion, connecting to yourself in awe in every dimension, and that sounds cool as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, Lux Fusion is also a part of my book and also a whole module in my foundations course. And, it's basically the holographic activation of your entire multidimensional self. I talked about the Lux presence, and this presence is so beyond time and space concepts that it has access to every energy system, every energy healing modality, and I call it fusion because you can run external energies. You can still use them if
Mhm,
you want, but you fuse it with your own Lux energy. So you make it your own. It's not like you're not allowed to talk to any external energies or sources or so. I mean, go for it. It's not a problem. I just call it fusion because it fuses your own Lux presence with this other energy to make it your own. And Lex Fusion works perfectly on the physical DNA level, energetic level, over all timelines, and also, as I said before, in your DNA, it's like the whole information of humankind is there. This is your Akash. This is your access to the archives of the world, and it's in your body. And with Lex Fusion, you really can access that. And I don't know, do you know matrix energetics, which is an energy healing system?
I know what the matrix typically means,
No,
but no.
no. Okay. This is Richard he developed matrix energetics and energetics. Uh, and I learned it from him many years ago. And he was a magician in the end, and he took all kinds of energy systems and made it possible for you to experiment with it. So it was very free and open system.
Oh.
And in that line, I saw that you don't need any external systems to do that. You really can do it with your own Lux presence and access different timelines and
Mhm,
different energy systems and teachings, um, but you don't get lost in them. You don't lose your own presence in connection and diffusion with this external knowledge or energy. So this is yeah, this is what I wanted to say about that. And I mean, it's of course a lot more. I have specific techniques to how to work with that. But one of them is, of course, also related to the gene keys. So you can access CD frequencies, so the highest frequencies in the gene key system, and every gene key is called a CD because it's beyond the personal self. It's a radiation of uh, divine stillness or love or timelessness. Yeah, and you can have a direct access via your Lux energy, even if you have not developed the gene key and the CD in your life, but you can get a taste of it on an energetic level. It's like homeopathy for the gene keys. It's like you get the taste of what this freed up energy means, and you can live it in your life. So this is the short story about Lux Fusion.
mm. Well, way I'm interpreting that is, yeah, when you're taking information from yourself, right, in these other dimensions, but you're also it kind of ties it into embodiment. You're bringing it back and integrating it
Yeah,
into this
abs
this one, this reality, this
yeah,
dimension right here.
and the real cool stuff is you don't need, external, achievements anymore. I mean, you
Mhm.
can do them if you want, but, your lux presence is, as it is in all dimensions and overall, timelines, it is a master in these practices. So if you want to learn Reiki, do it via the Lux Fusion and your own, Lux presence, because, you are a perfect Reiki master. Maybe not in this life, but, you can access it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's pretty basic in spirituality that we're more than just this body, right? And
Yeah,
like you said earlier, how the teachings you were in were like, forget this body, it's just your spacesuit type of thing, right? Your meat suit.
yeah,
And I think on one level that's true, but it's also like, well, we are here
yeah,
in this meat suit, right? For a reason, even if we don't fully understand it. This is what we are experiencing. So
yeah,
that it's you can't forgo one or the other, even if you want to. And I know externally the world is kind of a shit show right now, right? So there's that attraction to just kind of back away from it and just spend all the time
yeah,
in other places. But that's actually not going to help this shit show.
yeah, it does.
No, no, it doesn't. No, yeah. Well, my main method, I guess, to connect obviously is meditation, or
Hmm,
just going into like a still state. I'm sure there's some like alpha wave, beta wave, I don't know, little brain wave thing I got going on that sends me up there, right? But can you share one little method maybe people could use to try that, or would meditation be one of them? Or I don't
uh,
know.
it meditation is a great tool. I just had a a memory come up because we talked about my early days as a Reiki master, and during it's so funny. Have to imagine I was 15 years old. I heard the first time during this time about Zen, and Zen was hugely amazing for me. It was the essence of meditation, what it means, and I was so into Zen. And this is a funny story because I know my Reiki teacher from back then still tells this story many years ago. Everyone else, because in a break of the Reiki workshop, everyone else got a break, and when they came back, I was still sitting there in the room and meditating like a professional. And then he asked me, "What are you doing? Is this Zen?" Uh, and I replied, "Zen? I'm over that shit. I've mastered Zen. This is beyond Zen."
Wow.
It's so funny because Zen is never ending. It's just being here in the present moment. But back then, I thought I was beyond Zen, and I've mastered it. So I was a Zen master with 15, self-proclaimed.
Well,
So
you weren't
funny.
seeking external validation. At least
Yeah,
now.
right. This was the start of that. It's so funny. So, yeah, I basically, if you are interested in my meditations, I did lots of them, or with get in touch with Lux, and I maybe many of you missed that, but if you are a subscriber to my publication, in the first email, I sent out a free meditation to get in touch with Lux, which is a meditation, of course, and which is a first Lux experience. I call it. I can post it for you if you want it. I guess many miss it because they subscribe to the publication. They never look at the first email they get. But in there, there's a free meditation on Lux, so just to get in touch what I'm talking about. And I've also a 7-day Lux challenge, which is a very cheap product. I think $96 or so. And there you have 7 meditations with Lux. They build on each other. You do one every day, and it's a very easy introduction into how to work with Lux on your own. And yeah, so this is what I can say about that.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I'll try to get those links from you and I'll put them down below
Yeah.
when we're done. Yeah. Oh man. I think we've covered a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to touch on. Is there anything else you want to touch on, Atmos?
Oh, I'm fine. I've talked too much. Maybe maybe we should just stay in stillness, because this is also maybe we have talked about a gene key as an example.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, we can dig into that.
yeah, because the gene keys, of course, they come with 3 different energies or frequencies, and this is one gene key. So this is one information, and you can see it from the shadow perspective, which we said we take the 52. I've already talked about,
Yeah.
which has stress in its shadow pattern. And it's a very generic thing, because stress is on everyone's mind in a way. And the hidden in this shadow frequency, there is the gift, which is restraint in this case. So if you're in stress, you're in constant overdrive.
Mm,
There is no balance, and restraint as a gift means just don't go in this overdrive. Don't perform. Just be authentic yourself in the end,
yeah.
but don't perform for someone else. And the interesting thing is, I got also dynamism as one of my gifts in my life work, which is why maybe when I'm on or live, I'm talking so much, because this is a very authentic, dynamic energy. But I also get this restraint, which is, hey, Atmos, now calm down. And don't go too much, don't give too much, don't be too dynamic in breaking up things and throwing it in the air. So this is a constant reminder of what it means to practice. This is really a practice. And the city of the 52 is stillness. And this is what came to me very early in my life, where as I said, with Babaji, it was really this experience of eternal stillness beyond the mind. And this is also very important in my life. So even when I'm talking a lot with people, I'm not a lot with people, first of all. And if I'm not with people and I'm not teaching or talking or whatever, I'm basically quiet all the time.
Mm.
And it's also inside, which is the most beautiful thing, because this is clarity. It's, yeah. If there is not much internal talk, what to say and what not to say, and how to express something or how to perform something, if this all falls away in your mind, it becomes very quiet, and then words can fill this empty space up with whatever wants to come through.
Do you think stillness can feel different for each of us?
Absolutely, yeah. Um, yeah. How do you feel stillness?
That's a good way. To me, it's that center feeling.
Yeah,
And then I see it's like I'm a gerbil in a ball,
yeah,
where the ball is moving. Well, I guess the gerbil is too, but in this scenario, I'm not actually moving, but the ball is, if that makes sense. Um,
mm,
like things just don't stop. It doesn't mean things stop,
yeah,
right? And by sayings, I just obviously time, uh, p- things you care about, right? You're still gonna grow. You're still gonna reflect. But it took a while to figure out, one, because I learned my my mistakes,
yeah,
and just experience, but because I used to have horrible anxiety.
mm,
I mean, crippling generalized anxiety disorder, and, my therapist was like, "Learn meditation as a way to," 'cause I was like, "I don't wanna be on any medication, I just wanna learn how to do this." Um, and then we tried several modalities, but obviously meditation was one I
mm,
resonated with, and it took me a while to not fall asleep and to, like, actually do it.
yeah,
But it reflected to me to just even try,
mm,
right? Give myself that pause from my constant, because I would say my mind felt like this when I was anxious, right?
yeah,
Just I couldn't focus on any hardly to focus, and I had to
mm,
try to was always trying to figure shit out, and I couldn't, and I would get stressed about it, right? And, it was not a happy place when your mind's like this. But now, should I get in that state, which is very rare, I can easily be like, "Wait a minute, what do I need? Oh, I'm thirsty. I need to pee, and, I want to, like, I need a nap or something." Like, I'll figure out,
yeah,
like, what does my body actually need?
yeah,
What will actually bring me to the stillness right now?
yeah,
What was I ignoring when I was focusing on my craziness? Well, not craziness, but my anxiety, right? And so learning how to do that and, like, bring it down
yeah,
and to tangible things, like, well, I can eat a snack. I can do that, and I can use the bathroom, and I can take a quick nap right now. Or I can't do that, but I can do this instead, right? I can sit still for 5 minutes and just take some deep breaths to kind
yeah,
of create that. And that took time and to create it a habit. And then, like I said, now it's very rare I get in that
mm.
state because I'm more aware of my body and what I'm doing and what's going on. Now I'm kind of lost where I'm going with all of this, but
No, you were just explaining how you experience
oh,
stillness
stillness.
itself
Yeah.
as the eye of the storm in a way. No?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, and that's exactly it. I actually use that language a lot. Because that is what it feels like. Oh man, nailed it. Yeah. Because like I said, like the hamster thing, it's all moving around me. And I realize I really can't control it, right? There's very little I can control. All I can control is obviously myself and what's in the eye of the storm. So it's one, like, know your role,
Yeah,
right? But also just surrender was a big thing,
yeah,
and releasing that. Just like I, I give, like, not a give up, but it's in a way, yeah. Like I'm not gonna attach myself to that, and I'll
yeah,
just let it flow. And then for me, that creates excitement. Now I'm, like, excited how things are gonna play out, and, like, I don't know how it's gonna work out, and I get to experience the surprise of what's gonna happen, good or bad. that's pretty cool to me, and it creates this joy, right, and
Yeah.
excitement for life that, sadly, I meet a lot of people and they don't have that, and
Mm.
they see it in me, which is
Yeah.
beautiful, but I'm like,
And
"I'm
it's not
this."
just your name.
No, it's not just my name, but I'm like, "This is." I don't, like, own the market, right? Like, I did do work to get to this stage. If you met me
Mm.
10, 15 years ago, I was
Mm.
not a joyful person, right? I
Mm.
was in this mode all of the time. So
Mm.
there's you're just experiencing my growth and my work is all it is.
Yeah.
But um, and I'm sure 20 years from now I'll be more badass, I guess.
Even more badass,
Why
if that
not?
is possible.
I think so. I'm sure it is, right? But no, that's how I experience stillness or how I get to it. I
Yeah.
guess there's another thing would be staying in it. And that's just when I see myself wanting to attach to something, I catch it and I let it go.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of self-monitoring, but not like in a authoritarian type of way, just as it arises. And like when I have a negative emotion or like fear or doubt that comes in, um, I think in the past, like we said before, I was like, "Oh, no, no, go away. Bye-bye. I don't wanna
Yeah.
deal with you, right, you shadow, bye-bye." No, now I'll be like, "Oh, shit, what are you saying? What are you saying to me? What are we looking at now?" And I'll cry and I'll process, and it's not necessarily fun, right? But, I know it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I know doing that is to me, it's transmuting that, and it's kind of like spiritual alchemy or internal alchemy, um, and you you can take that energy, this is the alchemy part, and turn it into excitement or turn
Right.
it into joy, and it takes me a probably a good sometimes 4 to 6 hours to do that, and I
Yeah.
will have my toddler playing around while I'm going through this process for me.
Beautiful.
But that's just life, right? That's
Yeah.
the storm. I'm still a mom, I still have a job and stuff I have to do. There's those things they don't get put on hold just
Mm.
because I'm going through this.
Yeah.
So I think it's accepting that too is another part of it. Like it's sometimes I think in my past I wanted to always do that in private. I didn't want anybody to
Mm.
see that. Um And I'm understanding now, like, it's okay to share
Yeah.
and express, and it's actually a really beautiful thing, and that goes into
Mm.
that authenticity, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's actually very relatable, and
And you're coming from the stillness, which is also very interesting because this makes you brave enough, still enough to, yeah, go as the eye of the storm into the storm, and you can watch also the shadow patterns evolve and transform from that place of stillness, which is a beautiful, resourceful place.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Well, it kind of feeds itself. Once you learn all that, once you put it all together, it's not something I have to consciously, like I said, monitor, right? It's just kind of built in now as a
Yeah.
habit and as a way of living. And that's pretty to me, that's the coolest thing, you know?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we're at
Luckily,
an hour.
great.
Yeah. Um, well, thank you, Atmos. This was such a fun talk.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And thank you guys, all 10 of you who
Oh,
watched us
10 people.
live.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just now looked too, so don't feel bad.
Cool. No, I really love your work, and you're so open, and you're approaching it so innocently without all this baggage of years-long indoctrination of any teaching. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.